Hey, everybody! Here we are again in Puck in Deep, where we get in deep on matters of the NHL. And in this episode, the Olympics, the Olympic gold medal game. Everybody wants to talk about that, right? I know I do. And I'm sure Ron from R&J Media Sports wants to get into this for sure.
Yeah, baby.
We are going to get into what happened for the gold, what Canada did wrong or right or whatever, and all of the things floating around that gold medal game. We're also going to look at whether there's going to be NHL players at the Olympics again, which will be interesting, or it will be interesting as well.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get into why Canada probably lost that game and all kinds of stuff. It is going to be an awesome show. Ron,
Are you saying lots of frolic?
a frolic above,
Good
like
Lord.
the frolic meter is like 9.5,
All right.
9.5, 9.5 on the frolic meter scale here.
Oh,
Maybe
you heard it here first.
9.7. I don't know. It could
right.
be a full 10. I don't know. You tell us down in the comment section
Please.
what kind of frolic we're happening here. So Ron from R&J Media Sports, where I'm able to give you this fine programming because of him and his and R&J Media Sports. Ron, how are you doing, my friend? How have you been enjoying these Olympics and everything else that goes out?
Dude. All right. I've been doing great, and thank you very much for having us on, man. Please hit the like and subscribe. Hop on over to the YouTube channel, R&J Media Sports. Hop on over there and get yourself signed up so you can get notified for all the great shows. Also, make sure you get signed up for Perlo's NHL picks. Make sure you get that signed up there on Twitter. Also, make sure you follow Perlo at the Ice Guys as well too, and all the great stuff that Perlo's doing. So, I got to tell you what, man. I was a 10-year-old little guy watching ABC's Wide World of Sports, listening to Al Michaels scream the infamous words, "Do you believe in miracles?" And yes, I do. And after that, I made sure to watch the game against Finland so that they could for sure win the gold medal, right? Okay. But that left a major impression on me. And I always was keen to watching hockey from that point on. I got a Bobby Clark street hockey stick the very next year, right? And so not long after that, it wasn't long after that, and I because Philadelphia's a local for me, sort of. I mean, it's only an hour and a half away, so Philadelphia became my team, and anyway. But I got to watch the United States men's hockey team win another gold medal in my lifetime. And I got to tell you, Perlo, it wasn't quite the game that everybody thought it was going to be, because look, and we talked about this off air before we even got on the show. If you look at the roster that was comprised of the Canadian team, you had some of the most prolific scorers to ever put skates on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of all those guys, I mean, their top two lines were just, I mean, it's the all-star who's who of anybody that's from Canada that can play hockey, right? Is their top two lines. Seriously, let's face it, okay? And then you switch over to the United States team, and you're kind of scratching your head going, wait a minute. This team is not exactly the barn burners of the United States that are, lighting the lamp on a regular. You get me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was more of a grind team I think Canada was more of a finesse team, and it showed because Canada just outplayed the United States all day long. I mean, they ended it was what 48-26 on the shot clock,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's disgusting. The fact that you basically let Hellebuck out there to dry. I mean, that dude. Look, I'm going to tell you something, folks. I agree with the uh, uh yeah, because I agree. Hellebuck played out of his freaking mind. And Perlo, we talked about this off air too. You know, if they switch sides, right? Because he plays for a Canadian team, and Bennington plays for an American team, and if they were to switch sides, it would have been a different story. And I absolutely 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
But that is where you have to draw the line. At some point, you have to have somebody that's better that can handle that wave after wave after wave. 46 shots that counted, right? I think they registered over 76 shots, right? So there was only 46 that they counted. That's a lot of shots per game. Okay, and I get it. He's playing for a team that doesn't really have that much in front of him right now in the NHL, right? But he had quite a pretty good team in front of him here in the United States, except they Canada spent more time in the United States zone. Canada had more rushes. Canada had more offensive zone time. It was like I'm getting a sore neck, man, because I'm only looking at him down on the one side of the ice.
Right.
So yes, United States was outplayed, but man, I got to tell you, there was something magical about that game. Now, I know that we can look at the analytics and I know that we can say, oh, these guys had this much ice time and these
Mm-hmm.
guys had this and this and that and this and that and
Yeah,
this and
yeah,
that.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you something, Perlo. I've rewatched certain parts of that game, and there were times when there were wide open nets
Mm-hmm.
that Canada could have buried
Yep.
pucks.
McKinnon off the post.
And there was not even just off the post. There were wide open nets that a save was made or the puck just never made it or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
Right? There were opportunities there for Canada to take over that game.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because a body got in the way, because a stick got in the way, because Hellebuck made a save, because somebody blocked a shot, because something happened that prevented Canada from putting the puck in the net. Okay? So this was history that was destined to be written as far as I'm concerned. And I'm so over the top excited and proud of the United States team. And I'm also overexcited and proud of Canada and Finland and all the teams.
Yeah.
Because this was a huge sacrifice for these guys, right? Everybody's like, oh, the Olympics and this and that and everything else. Look, they played a serious condensed schedule. And they're going to continue to play a serious condensed schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, Olympics are done Sunday. Guess what? They're dropping the puck Wednesday. So, and you still got how many more games yet till you got to finish out the season? Yeah. So, this was a huge sacrifice for these guys. And I think every single player that played in the NHL that got to represent their country did so with pride, did so with you could just see how grateful they were. Now look, it sucks to lose. I get it, but you were on the world stage playing for your country, and how often do you get to do that, right? So take it for what it's worth. I'm super awesome proud of the United States for winning gold. I'm proud of Canada for winning silver, and I'm proud of Finland for winning bronze. But I think this was more of a history in the making because the United States won and how it happened. It wasn't a pretty game. They were outplayed.
Yeah.
It just felt like this was something that just was more. There was just more there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you're going the fate road, and I wouldn't. It does feel like it was kind of fake.
I mean, they brought Gaudreau's jersey out.
Johnny Gaudreau, yeah, Johnny Gaudreau.
They had his jersey hanging in the locker room. They brought his
maybe Johnny's hovering over that.
They brought his kids out on the ice to get the team picture. Yeah, his parents were in the audience. His wife was in the. I mean, come on.
There was a lot of heart created by the coaching.
Yeah.
Staff.
So
no doubt about that. No doubt about that.
Okay.
So, anyways, first of all, we have Russell. He's a great person that has followed my content and other people's content that I know for quite some time.
Awesome.
And he said that he hates to say it, but he thinks Connor Bedard should be there. Well, you know what? I'll get into that later. I'm going to talk about that later, Russell, because when I'm going to talk about that, when I talk about Jack Hughes later. But right now, this game, I mean, first of all, just flat out, Hellebuyck is the MVP of this tournament. I don't care if they gave it to McDavid. It don't matter. Hellebuyck is the reason why the U.S. made it to the gold, let alone won this game. You trade any goaltender that was in the Olympics for Hellebuyck, and there's a really good chance that the U.S. doesn't even make the gold medal game, let alone win it. That guy was insane. The whole tournament, he was amazing.
Gosh, man. I saw saves that guy make.
He was incredible. He to me is the MVP of that tournament. Going back to this game, in regular time, Canada definitely dominated against the U.S. Now you got to give it to the U.S. because they grinded that. I think you mentioned the word grinded it the best. Yep. They kind of were back on their heels sometimes, but they were willing to do anything to win the game. I think that's a better way to put it. Like a good way to put it. Like they were jumping in front of, like they were going to do anything to keep that puck out of the net. And of course, Hellebuyck was incredible. No doubt about that. They were outshot, they were outplayed, but they played with a lot of heart in every situation that they could in that game. I think Canada's roster was quite a bit better than the US's roster, especially when you look at that top line. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. No, it's funny.
Even without Crosby. Even without
Crosby, right. But a lot of people were talking before that game about how good of a line that was of McKinnon, McDavid, and like Celebrini. Like it almost wasn't fair. And then all of a sudden now they're not talking about it anymore. No, that line might be the greatest line ever put together in Olympic hockey or anything in general. Like
the
when
fact that you had that group of guys to choose from to put that line together.
Incredible. Absolutely amazing. But they couldn't, like McDavid hit the post in an open net. They had their shots. They had their chances. I think Celebrini had like how many shots or whatever.
He had 5 goals in all the whole tournament, right? So I mean,
but how many shots and opportunities he had, and Hellebuyck just held the fort. I mean, Hellebuyck was absolutely incredible.
He had like 6 or 7 shots,
right?
I think he took. Yeah.
So
Celebrini on net. Yeah.
On my Twitter feed and all of that, people will say that, the U.S. won, so they're the better team. Well, we know that with hockey, the better team doesn't always win. Yeah. And Hellebuyck,
I mean, that's like that with anything, bro. Come
they
on.
did make a point that Hellebuyck is part of the team. So you could say they were the better team because they had that goaltender, and that goaltender, and Hellebuyck just absolutely went out of his head in that game. Like they couldn't do anything. And I think as the game went on, the more it went on, the more frustrated Canada got. That they weren't winning that game. And I think it just the nerve. I think as the game went on, the nerves started getting higher and higher, and they started questioning, like, is this going to be this? Is this going to be the time because all those players have had that happen to them where they outplay the opposition and they lose. So I think in the back of their minds, that was always there the whole time. So now you get into overtime, and I'm going to say something now that maybe people may disagree with or not. The reason why Canada lost that 3-on-3 in overtime was because of MacKinnon and McDavid. The very guys that brought you there, the guy that won the MVP, which he shouldn't have, amazing players.
Did you just say that? You just said that you don't think that McDavid should get the MVP.
No, definitely not. Hellebuyck was
hot take. Look, I 100% agree with you.
No doubt about it. Hellebuyck was.
I agree.
No doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. It's ridiculous, but it doesn't matter. Nobody cares if the MVP was, anyways. So, I think this is 3 major contests that I think in both of the last playoffs, the Oilers lost and McDavid won the MVP. So who cares? Right? Like, I'm pretty sure he would trade that MVP for a cup. But going into overtime, and I wanted to say this is one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about. Both MacKinnon and McDavid try to go through 2-3 players all by themselves, most of the time without any backup. Like, they were in and there was nobody behind them. And they tried to go through 2-3 players and score on the best goaltender
during overtime. During overtime.
And then try to score on the best goaltender in the world right now. I mean, okay, you guys are both amazing, but you're not that amazing. And that was stupid. You're basically probably giving up possession to the weaker skilled team to come back on 3-on-3. When it's 3-on-3, it's now more of a coin flip, right? Whoever's got possession has the chance to score. You need to keep possession as much as possible and get Hellebuyck moving back and forth, side to side, or people in front of them or something. To try to go through 2-3 players and score on Hellebuyck, that is absolutely inexcusable. Inexcusable. And what happened with the goal? That's exactly what happened. McDavid tried to go through 2 or 3, I can't remember. Deep, go short side, try to beat the best goaltender in the world, lost possession. It comes back, and we see what happens with Jack Hughes scoring that goal. He came back hard. I'll give him that. He got his man, whatever. But it doesn't matter. You gave up the possession. You did. You gave up the possession because you made a stupid decision. And they did that, I don't know, in a matter of a minute. They kept on doing it over and over and over again. I think they lost their minds. I think over all of this time that they weren't able to score, McDavid and MacKinnon, I think it got to their heads. They were just making stupid decisions. I think the pressure got to them, to tell you the honest truth.
So I saw the craziest thing today on X about how something along the lines of people don't know hockey or don't understand hockey and felt that this was that goaltending doesn't win you games and that people don't know hockey. Right. And I had to do a double take on that. I had to reread that post, and it was something by somebody
Multiple
very
people were saying that goaltending doesn't win
no,
you games.
no. This one person was saying it.
Oh, okay, one person.
But this one person like has 100 million more followers than me.
Okay,
Like,
so it's a very prominent person
saying that,
and I think it's very respectful for you that you're not saying the person's name, and that's good. But that's interesting.
But saying about how you don't know hockey when you take 4 players or 3, 4, 5 players off the ice and it's 3-on-3 and goaltending, you take the goaltending out of goaltending doesn't win. And I'm like,
goaltending becomes more important, not less important?
How do you not win any hockey game without goaltending?
Sometimes you can. I mean, it's hockey, right? You can beat team 7-5 or whatever, or the goaltender gets pulled. But
I get you.
For the most part, you want good goaltending.
But if you got good goaltending, then it's not because the goaltender lost you the game.
Right.
Right? You got Hellebuyck, the best goaltender in the game right now, and you're trying to tell me that when you get to that situation, that goaltending is not, that it's not important and it doesn't win games. Like I said, Pearl, it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Right.
For somebody who doesn't know hockey, like what?
I'm going to try to play devil's advocate. I don't know who this person is.
I don't either. I have no idea.
I mean, it's way harder for a goaltender 3-on-3. You know, so like there's more opportunity to score on a great goaltender like Hellebuyck.
More open ice.
If you don't try to go through 2 or 3 guys and try to beat Hellebuyck. Like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, you're going to have a hard enough time getting possession in the offensive zone and finding your spots, which is what you're supposed to do against Hellebuyck, let alone doing what they did, which was absolutely unbelievable.
You know how you beat
Hellebuyck? I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw them doing what they were doing.
I've seen how you do it. How you beat Hellebuyck is you get under his skin. You get him off his game, right? By that, that one extra slap across the pads as you skate by, or something like that, right?
I think you're bringing up a really good point there. Sorry, continue, but I'll continue with what you're saying.
Something like that, right? Get him off his game, like you said. Get him moving side to side,
but get him off his game. Really, how much did Canada really get in the grill of Hellebuyck through that whole game? I never even thought about that too.
Hardly ever. They were taking point blank shots.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But they were also, the United States was kind of keeping them to the outside. So not all of their shots were point blank. And he was able to see a good portion of them. But look, let's face it, he stopped 46 shots.
Yeah. I mean, but now that I think about it, I recorded that game. I'm going to rewatch it again. How many times were they actually getting up in Hellebuyck's grill there? And what players, except for Wilson? I mean, I didn't even see Wilson parked out there. I didn't see anybody trying to freaking, you brought up, the only time was when Bedard went barreling in. Or not Bedard, Bennett. Bennett went barreling in, and he got a penalty for it.
Right.
But I think they just didn't want to take penalties, so that might have been part of the reason. And they figured they could outskill the U.S. team, which makes sense. They can.
Well, they did swallow the whistles. Let's face it. There was 1 or 2 ticky-tacky calls that were made. I absolutely agree that when they reviewed the high sticking, that it should have gotten the 4 minutes. I mean, it knocked his teeth out. You know what I mean? So, all right, but United States couldn't do anything with it. You know what I mean? So it was like it didn't really matter. But
I guess I mean, it was kind of a fluky thing too.
It was right.
Ryan Davis here brought up. Thank you for correcting me. Sam Bennett did win the last Conn
Oh,
Smythe.
did he?
Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't McDavid. It was now that I think about it. Thank you for correcting us there in the chat. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up. That was deplorable how they played that 3-on-3. And there has been talk about whether there should be a 3-on-3 in that type of a big game. And I agree that it shouldn't be. But unfortunately, when they do the game, there's some. I didn't bring this up before when we talked, but I wouldn't mind chiming in on a little bit because it is a big thing. The 3-on-3. Yeah. In fact, even Cooper said it's not real hockey or whatever you said there.
Right.
And McKinnon, actually, when he talked, he said, "You watch the game and tell me who is the better team." He said that as well. A little salty, but absolutely true at the same time. But anyway,
okay.
So maybe you don't want to be saying that, like, it's maybe a little classless or whatever, but it's honest. It's honest.
Okay, but I don't have a problem with honesty.
3-on-3 is not real hockey. And I would agree that it's not really the coolest way to get a gold medal. However, when they do the game, they have the final, the end of the Olympics ceremony coming up. So they kind of got to get it finished because they got to get all set up for that. They got to get ready for that. And they got to make sure that that goes. So like you can't go 5 overtimes or something like that. But Alex B. Smith from the Ice Guys brought up a really good idea. But I'll say this, but I'll also say that might not work as well, is that the gold medal game should have been played the day before and the bronze medal game should have been played after. And in the gold medal game, you could change the rules to 5-on-5 because it can go like as long as you want because you have no Olympic game ending celebrations after that. So I get it. Like that would be cool. But I was thinking about that today and I was like, but what about all these, like people forget that there's other sports and sponsors for those sports out there that have paid money for, and they want to get their sport shown in an Olympic stage and all of that stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure like some of these sports would be very upset that the Canadian or the hockey game, which is probably that and figure skating, probably the biggest draw, right? Like I would say between the two, going on for 5-6 hours while there's less eyes on their product and their sport. So I think that might be a big reason why you see it done like this.
Well, let me just say this, okay? That game was played the day before the closing ceremonies? So there really was only that hockey game left. You get what I'm saying, right? That was one of the last things.
Yeah, there was a couple other sports going on because I remember it went right to some sort of skiing or something like that. But all of those events have an end time. Like there's no overtime on any of those. So
right,
you know exactly when it's going to end.
Right.
And they probably want some audience, like after that game, they appreciate the fact that hockey's on because a lot of people are going to watch it. And then after it's over, a good amount of them, probably more than normal that would watch them, will watch them.
Well, here was the thing though. They put it on. They played the game live here in the United States, which made it at 8:00 in the morning Eastern time.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's the middle of the day for them for that hockey game. So all the sports that were going on at the same time had gone on and had already finished. You get what I'm saying here, right? This
Yeah.
hockey game was one of the last events, period. There was no other things
Yeah.
going on.
No, it is right. So if you push, you can't push that too far into overtime for the end of the game. What do they call that? End at the end of the Olympics?
The closing ceremonies, which was the next day. But it's the next day. So they could have done that format.
Is the closing ceremonies the next day? I thought it was that day.
Yeah, it's Sunday. It was Sunday. The very next day was the last day of the Olympics was Sunday. That was closing ceremony.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right? If you were to do it the day before, then that's fine.
Which is what they did. Right?
No, it ain't. The last game was on Sunday.
Yeah, you're right. It was
the
Sunday
bronze
morning.
Medal game was on Saturday. And
Saturday, right? Yeah, you're right. Sunday. You're right.
So they can't have it go past the closing ceremonies. But I mean, Alex B. Smith said, "Well, why don't you play it on Monday and the bronze on Sunday, and have like with the gold medal, it changes the rules." Where you have 5-on-5 until somebody scores and all that kind of stuff like that. But like I said, I think that all these other sports would not be happy with that. And the sponsors for those sports would not be happy.
Agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but it was the last thing that was being going. It was the last thing going on.
Right. Russell brings up 5-on-5, and the other fellow here, I want to Ryan, I want to shout him out. He said 3-on-3 is absolutely more exciting. You know what? I mean, hey, if people love that 3-on-3, good for you, man. Like, no doubt about it. I'm glad if you would prefer that, because that's what happens. A lot of people love 3-on-3. There's a whole debate about shootouts and all that kind of stuff like that in the regular season. But there's many people that just love the shootout. You know, and if you're an owner of a team, let's put it this way: I don't think that shootout is a really good way to finish a game. But guess what? I don't shut my TV off when the shootout starts.
Duh.
Yeah,
because you know it's going to be the best players from each team are going to suddenly be.
Well, you want to see who finally wins a game, even though you're not really all that happy with that's the way it ends. You certainly watch it. So, I
got to be honest with you.
But a lot of people love it, and a lot of people like 3-on-3. And I don't want to poo-poo on any of you guys. I'm more of a traditionalist myself, but
see, that's me.
If let's put it this way. If they did a poll and found out that more people prefer the 3-on-3, do that. Doesn't matter what I like. I don't care. I want more people watching the sport. So do it that way. That's fine.
So that's what Bateman is doing, man. That's what he's been. I've been seeing some of like his pressers and some of the stuff that he's been posting out, and it's not like I follow him on social media or anything, but I've read articles that he's done interviews with and stuff like that. And he says that's what they do, man. They send out these surveys, and if that's what they want, then that's what they get.
Exactly. I mean,
right.
The most important thing, especially they haven't done it in the playoffs as of yet, and I don't think they ever will.
I don't either.
But there's programming issues. If you were to do 5-on-5, the only way you could do it is a tie. And not too many people like the idea of a tie game.
Let me ask you this question. I
will say this, though, and they're not going to do it, but I will say this. They should have 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime win, and 1 point for a loss. But they won't do it. And you know why? Because the owners want their team to be in it as long as possible, that they could be they want that parity where your team has more of a chance to make the playoffs because people are going to be engaged if your team can. And that's what happens when you do it this way. You get that loser point, as people call it, and you're able to still be in it for a longer amount of time, and the owners sell more tickets and more people watch the games, where if you were to do it the other way, a lot of more teams would be out of it like 30 games in.
So like right now, right, Colorado would be so far ahead that they could just rest the rest of their guys and they wouldn't even have to sweat.
Well, they already they're not really ahead because Minnesota's creeping up on them. But yeah, for sure. No doubt about that.
Right. I get
Okay, so now the next thing I wanted to get into, and this surprisingly was one of the bigger things I saw. I even got DMs about it on my Twitter feed. And that was, why was Jack Hughes only played 13 minutes in the finals? And actually, pretty much every game he played, he was 13 minutes. Really? And they said he was playing so well, he should have played higher in the lineup. Okay. He's playing well, yes. But Jack
Where
Hughes
in the lineup was he playing?
Jack Hughes was being played by Sullivan against the lower lineups, the lower of the lineup, against the third and fourth lines as much as possible, maybe the second, whatever was what Sullivan thought was the weaker line. They played Jack Hughes, and the reason for that is he's not very good defensively. And you've got a shutdown line like Tkachuk, Eichel, and Matthew. That's a shutdown line. They can score, but they can shut you down. Eichel's one of the,
which is what they did. It's what they did.
Eichel's elite. Eichel is elite defensively. Brady Tkachuk has grown so much in that area under Green. Like, he's one of the better shutdown wingers in the game. Matthew in the regular season with Florida isn't really forced to play a defensive game because they want to take it easy on him. But when playoffs hit, he shuts you down, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
He shuts you down.
He's the real deal, man. Those Tkachuk brothers, boy.
Right. So Jack Hughes is a great offensive player. I'm not taking anything away from Jack Hughes and what he did. He did fantastic. You're still playing against really good lines because it's the best on best.
Yeah.
But he was used against more of the third and fourth line guys, and he was able to fully succeed on that. But that's why, and I kind of understand why Sullivan did it. I'm trying to remember who was the second line center for the U.S.
Oh, hold on.
I tried to look it up, but they've taken it down off of Daily Faceoff. I was thinking about it earlier. I know Russell or somebody in our chat. They'll tell us for sure.
Second line for United States. Are you asking for the United States?
Yes.
So that was Boldy and Matthews and Gensel.
Another shutdown line.
Right. And then they had
Gensel's amazing defensively. Matthews is underrated. Not amazing, but he's very good. And Boldy is incredible. Boldy could have a Selke in his future. He's that good. So they were using those two lines against the top lines of the other team.
And Jack was on the third line.
Right.
Right. With Tage Thompson and Dylan Larkin.
Right. And Larkin's a really good defense player too, but Tage not so much, and Hughes not so much. That's not their
but they played with Jake Sanderson and Zach Werenski.
Right. Very good defensive defensemen to back them up to do what they're doing. Great idea, great move. So that's why you got to have shutdown lines you got to have shutdown lines when you're playing in this type of competition. Canada had two. Somebody brought up Wilson. They said Wilson, or Russell said Wilson, and all of these other guys, a couple other guys. They
Marchand, Wilson, and Bennett.
Right. Marchand's hurt. There's no doubt about that. I bet you Marchand doesn't play when he gets back to North America for Florida, and neither does Reinhart. Both of them are playing injured, and Florida's going to tank. So absolutely, they're not going to play for a while. But those are shutdown players. They're not there to bring the offense. It's cool if they do, but it's not the main job of that line. Wilson is an unbelievable shutdown.
But Marchand's been able to score 30 goals pretty much a good amount of time during his season, career.
Yeah. He's definitely an offensive player, but everybody has to have a role when you got these great players.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like everybody has to have a role. So, yeah, Jack Hughes is an incredible offensive player. Unfortunately, he's got a horrible coach in New Jersey who makes his players play not to lose rather than to win and a bunch of other stuff like that. But he's an incredible offensive player. Awesome. Yeah. He hasn't been having, quote, a great year because I think a lot of that has to do with the system and everything the coaches put in place there. He's a great offensive player. I'm not taking anything away from Jack Hughes, but when you're looking at best on best, you're not playing Jack Hughes against the McDavid line. It's just that doesn't make any sense.
No,
his best skill is offense, and his least skill is defensive awareness and playing defense. So you want to play him against players that are better offensively than him? Not a good idea. So that's
right now. Not a good idea. Not
a good idea. Not a good idea. So that's the reason why Jack Hughes didn't get the minutes that he did. I was surprised at how many people, how much I saw it on Twitter and people DM'd me about it. So that was interesting.
Well, now that we cleared that up.
Okay, so Ron, now to put all of these things into perspective, one of the things we also want to talk about, I'm going to ask you a question, and then because I think I've dominated this conversation, unfortunately.
No, man, you're good.
But I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think it's a good idea? And I from you told me before the program that the NHL is already committed to the next Olympics. But do you think it's a good idea that the NHL players and the way the things are with the shortened schedule, and you got like injuries that are created by the shortened schedule and, injuries in the Olympics and all of that. Do you think it's a good idea to keep on sending NHL players, especially when they're going to like Europe or Asia or something like that, to the Olympics?
Well, the next Olympics, right? I'm with you. So, should they use NHL players in the Olympics? Period is the question. The next Winter Olympics is going to be in Utah, right?
4 years from now. Right?
4 years from now, right? And there's going to be another one in Los Angeles for the Summer Games, right? So, but there's going to be a Winter Olympics. I think United States coming up here is the next one. I think is in the United States. And I know that they've already committed for the next Olympics. That was part of the whole collective bargaining agreement. That was part of the whole announcement that Gary Bettman came out and did at the beginning of the season and came out and said, this is what's going to happen. Okay. And I'm going to tell you this, as long as you still continue to have the 4-nation face-off, right? So as long as that's going to still be part of the game plan, then you're going to have the Olympics is going to be part of the game plan. Okay, I'm cool with that. Look, I've interviewed players that have played in the IIHF juniors. I've interviewed players that have played in the Helenka Gretzky Cup. And I've talked to those kinds of players. I've talked to players that have won Clark Cups and everything else like that, right? And I'm going to tell you, to a man, and I've talked to all over the world, Switzerland, Germany, Sweden, and United States, and Canada. And to a man, every single one of them had this gleam in their eye, their face lit up when they talked about donning the sweater for their country. So as long as there's that fire there, the players are always going to want to be at the Olympics. They are always going to want to be at the Four Nations. Okay. And as long as the players are going to continue to ask for that, I think Bettman has to honor that. Okay. And look, I understand there injury to Sidney Crosby and guy that broke his leg. Oh, his name is escaping me. Who was the guy that broke his leg in the Olympics? Somebody help me out here.
Fiala. Yeah.
Fiala, right? Broke his leg, done for this. I mean, dude had to have surgery.
Yeah.
Right? Right. And Sidney Crosby didn't play the last 2 games, and he's going to be hurt. You said Marchand's probably playing hurt. Bennett's probably playing hurt. You said there was another one too, another injured player, right? So that's what happens when you play the game of hockey, whether you're playing it for your professional team in your city or you're playing it for your country. You're going to get hurt. And like I said, as I am all for the players, supporting of the players being at the Olympics.
Yeah.
I'm all for that because I know that the players want that. Okay? Because that's something, look, how much do you think it burns Ovechkin to be watching the Olympics, knowing full well that if there was a Russian team, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's not really a best on best. It's a most of the best to get most of the best.
But if you had a Russian team that had some of the guys that yeah, I mean, seriously, that would be a pretty good team, I would think. Don't you think? Right? The Russian team would be a pretty good team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you're using NHL players,
they haven't had
look who you're going to have for goal.
They haven't had much success in previous Olympics, and that's one of the arguments about that. It's like it's not a big deal because they haven't had much success. I don't care.
I agree.
You're selling best on best.
Right.
If you don't have Demidov, Ovechkin,
Vasilevsky.
For some reason, the names aren't popping in my head. But if you don't have these kind of guys playing, you can't say it's
Sergachev, Vasilevsky.
Vasilevsky? Like, are you kidding me?
Brady, right? Come on.
We just saw what Hellebuck did for the U.S. You telling me Vasilevsky couldn't do that for the Russians? Come on.
Kirill Kaprizov, Aneri Panarin.
It's amazing. Panarin. It's amazing the arguments people will make to make it make them feel good that their team is won or whatever. There's no doubt about it. Without the Russians, it's not best on best. So don't even say it because it's not. And it's ridiculous that they aren't there. So if you say that this, we've
not my decision.
We've talked about this before. Both of us agreed. We agree differently that politics should be out of sports. Now, when it comes to international events, it's always been that. They're not even shy about it, that it is very political. It's a very political thing. So there's nothing you can do about it. But I think it's absolutely stupid that politics are part of sports in any way at all.
I agree.
In any way at all. And it's ridiculous that
I agree.
The Russians aren't there because of what their government is doing.
Okay, but I agree. It's a shame that the Russians aren't there, but I understand why they're not. Doesn't necessarily mean I agree with it, but I understand why they're not there.
Well, if it's going to be a political event, which now you've just come out and said it's a political event. It's not as much a sporting event.
Well, you think about that for a second. You have the IOC,
Yeah.
which is a political organization. You can't tell me it's not.
Right.
Then you have the IIHF, which is highly influenced by political situations,
Right.
right? And that's the governing bodies, and also the ISO, the International Skating Organization,
Right.
right? So those are the three organizations that are involved in the Olympics and
Yeah.
who gets to play and who doesn't get to play.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not up to me. That's way above where I'm at.
Right.
Right.
But what I'm saying is it's a dangerous territory to go down. Now,
Oh, no, I agree.
I don't want to have a discussion of what Russia is doing is good or bad or whatever. I don't
Nope.
want to have that
That's
discussion.
not for Perlo. That's not what we're here to talk about.
That's right. I don't want to have that discussion.
No.
But I don't think it's right that a sporting event can make that conclusion and choose to tell a country they can't go to that. You are now making not only it political, you're making it your politics. You're making it your reasoning. You're making it up to you to decide what's right and wrong and what's going on in politics.
Well, all three of those governing bodies.
Vasilevsky, and Shesterkin. Ryan Davis just brought that up.
Yeah, right.
You know,
but all
three
of those
the top 10
right?
goaltenders in the world.
Hello, right? Hello. But the fact of the matter is that these are the organizations that are making the rules.
Yeah.
Okay. So
take it or leave it. You're right.
Right.
They have their right to do whatever they're going to do. And the NHL
they choose to not allow Russia to be there. That's their decision. And
you can go if you want to or not go if you want to. I get you. I just don't agree that should be it should be the case. And you can then also have to kind of fall in line with whatever the NHL is doing. It's their organization. If they want to celebrate social groups or whatever the hell they're doing, then you cannot watch because that's their product and they can do whatever they want to do. So if you don't like it, too bad. You can do that. Now, I'm saying that I can say that it's stupid that the NHL does this, that, or the other thing, or the Olympics. I can say that all I want.
Right.
At 7:00 prime time, what's my TV doing?
It's watching hockey.
Exactly. So all I'm really doing is complaining. I'm not really doing anything at all. That's all I'm doing.
But let me put it to you like this. Let me just say, let me bring this back round and say this. There are a lot of things that the NHL could be doing better. There are a lot of things that the IIHF could be doing better. There's a lot of things that the IOC and the ISO could be doing better. There's a lot of things that each of the countries could be doing better in a lot of other areas. But that's not for us to talk about. That's not what we're here to do. That's not what this is about.
Right.
Okay. We're here to talk about a sheet of ice. Okay. That's 200 feet by, what is it? 25 feet, right?
I should know that.
You should, right? Okay.
I'm watching this game enough. I should know the dimensions of
playing on the ice. You should know that.
Off of my head, I don't really
know, right? I think it's 25. Don't quote me on it, but either way, the fact of the matter is that we got to watch some historic hockey over the last few days.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Where we saw United States put a gold medal around their necks, in a game that they really surprisingly did get the gold medal in, because they were outplayed, outshot, and if it wouldn't have been for those mistakes that were being made by Team Canada, then I think it would be a different story. Okay.
Yeah.
I also want to take note as well and say that we did not even mention Crosby because he didn't play in this game.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would have mattered. I really don't. Now, did they miss his presence on the bench? Yes. Did they miss his presence on the ice? Yes. Right?
Yeah.
But you had McDavid step right into the role, so it was like Crosby who,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
know, and
I
with
see where
everybody,
you're going with this. Yeah, for sure.
right? All I'm trying to say is this: they, if Crosby was on the team, they would have probably had a couple more shots on goal. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I think if Crosby was there, he would have calmed things down a lot more. And what I said about McDavid and McKinnon in that overtime, I
It would have been
said I
different.
think they lost their heads.
Yeah.
I think if Crosby was on the bench, there would have been huge value to that. I think Sidney Crosby is going to be a coach after his career. Like he is not only a great leader, he's one of the most intelligent players I've ever seen. He's an he's an incredible not just on ice player, but the leadership and everything he brings to a team. You know how much, okay, you know me, I'm a handicapper, and I'm into betting and stuff like that. If there is one player that I have lost the most amount of money on by going against, it's Sidney Crosby. Like look at Pittsburgh right now.
So wait a minute. Wait. Hold on a minute. Time out. Perlo.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe you're gonna stop doing that? So that maybe you're
I would think so, but I'm already betting Pittsburgh to miss the playoffs.
So you're not even listening to your
I'm
own
probably
advice.
going to get burnt again. That was the whole thing. I'm like, I don't want to do this because Sidney does this every single freaking time. Unbelievable. Like I would.
If you're out there listening, by the way,
even if he's not playing, I would not be surprised if that team makes it. And I think a lot of it will be him. He's an incredible motivator.
Well, he's
an
hurt
incredible
now,
person. He gets everybody involved. He keeps people engaged. I've read so much stuff about what he does off the ice.
Yeah.
That is incredible for his team, and the way the kind of captain he is, and the way he's engaged with all his players, not just in the arena on practice, but at home, how much he cares about his players and all of those.
Look who he learned from. Look who took him under his wing.
Well, I mean, you would say Mario, but
when he first came into the league and was drafted by the Penguins, he came to live with Mario Lemieux. For the first 3 years he was in the league, he lived with Mario Lemieux.
Yeah. I don't know how much it was Mario or how much it is who he is or whatever. I think Mario probably would be part of it. Mario is a much more private person than Crosby was. He's very private, but he probably
the way he leads.
Yeah, he probably
led the way he leads. Right.
Mario's so humble, you wouldn't have even heard the stories, especially back then when you didn't have social media and all that kind of stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Mario was exactly like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I didn't read any of the things or see anything, but I mean, like you said, there was no social media back then. I imagine he's just like that. I know he's extremely humble. I know that for sure. He's a very humble person.
I'm telling you right now, that was exactly what happened when he was drafted, and he spent his first 3 years there under the tutelage of Mario Lemieux.
Yeah, I know. He lived with Mario, and he grew through all of that. I imagine.
He's close with all his kids.
He got a lot of that from Mario. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be.
Right.
Surprised. I would say it's probably likely. Yeah.
Here's the beauty of hockey, and I'm gonna go way off on a rabbit hole here on you Perlo. I'm sorry. But I have to say this because it's such a community. It's such a village of people
Hmm.
that puts a hockey player on the ice, whether it be for the high school team,
Yeah.
junior team, the
Yeah.
college team, the AHL team,
Yeah.
the national team, or the NHL.
Right. Hmm.
Okay. It takes a group of people to get this one guy
Yeah.
to this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First, it's the parents. The parents have to be
That's
willing to
absolutely.
let go of their child at a very young age, 11, 12,
Yeah.
and they're going to be away from home thousands of miles,
Yeah.
getting schooling
Uh-huh.
privately or going somewhere else, living with another family,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then playing hockey.
Right.
Okay.
And I mean, not to mention the time they take for practices and all that kind of stuff like that. I mean, maybe many of them, some of them are fortunate enough that they have the financial ability to put them in private schools and all that kind of stuff like that.
No. See, that's just it. No.
Not
These kids,
generally, not
not
generally
generally,
always.
no.
No.
There's programs that they have where the um billet parents can help um put the kids like at cyber school or whatever, and then they get a stipend from that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
or the parents do the same thing where they put the kids into cyber school. No, they can do
Yeah.
that now.
Yeah.
They can do that now, right?
Yeah.
But back in the day, there was no private school. You had to go to school. You had to go to class,
Yeah.
right?
It's more now. It's more now, but yeah. Yeah. That's
When
right.
I talk to kids that are from Sweden or Switzerland, dude,
Mm-hmm.
they get their own place when they're 13 or 14
Mm.
because they're getting money to play,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
They're more socialist country where
Right.
they'll
But
take
they
care.
get their so these kids from Switzerland, Sweden, whatever, right? At the age of 13, so they come over here to the States. They've already had their own place. They already know what it's like to be away from home, to be away from parents, to be away from everything that they know. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a huge support system that is put into place
Mm-hmm.
by these teams, these organizations, the USHL, the WHL, the OHL, the NHL, the EC, all these organizations put all this stuff in place so that
Yeah.
these guys have this opportunity to play this game. So that
Yeah.
when they do get to the NHL, they can get that success. They can play for
Yeah.
the team that
And
they're
that's
drafted
not. I
for.
mean, let's look at some even other factors. What about minor league coaches? Like in we called it in Canada Pee Wee. I think you call it something else in the United States. Like coaches that coach these
I don't
players when
know.
they're kids take the time out of their lives to have practices at 5 a.m. and coach games. And my dad was a
Because
coach.
they have a full-time job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My dad coached me. To me, I'll say this right now. My father was one of the most brilliant hockey minds I ever knew. Unfortunately, he didn't try to go further with what he did, but he coached. He coached in midget. We called it midget, like, and pee wee, like 10 to 12, 14 to 16. He coached me most of my career. I only had a couple, not career because it wasn't a career, but most of the time I was in there. I had some other coaches, but he used to like parents quite often didn't have time to drive their kids to practice, to drive their kids. He used to go sometimes 2 hours before game time or practice time and drive and pick these kids up and then drive them home
After practice.
afterwards
Yeah.
and then never ask for anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes the
Yeah.
parents were nice enough to throw him gas money or whatever the case may be, but he never asked for any of that stuff. And you have like the assistant coaches and you have the communities that run the rinks that aren't making any money? What about that? What about the non-profit arenas out there that maybe make some money off a concession, and they get a little stipend from the money you pay to be part of the league or whatever the case may be? But those guys are running on no profit pretty much at all in Canada. That's how it was in Canada. Like, and on and on. Like you said, parents, what they do, the way the parents come together to help each other out, to have their kids there, the money it costs for goalie pads, skates, all of that kind of stuff like that. I mean, yeah, man, it brings
from where your dad was.
It brings you together, and that's the same for football, basketball. I'm not saying hockey's any better than any of those sports. That, like, sport brings communities together that way. It's incredible.
But hockey's the only one like this.
Oh, is it? You would know.
As far as like having billet moms or billet.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
A lot of the travel teams that happen for like soccer and football, you travel to wherever the game is, and then that's it.
Okay. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying, right? So they call them travel teams,
right?
So you're part of the team, but you travel to wherever the game is. You don't.
Well, yeah, and I guess
you're not.
I guess with basketball and football, it's huge in the high school already. So the high school takes care of pretty much all of that kind of stuff.
Dude, when I played football, there was no travel teams. There was nothing. You had to, you followed the traditional route. Pee-wee, pony, midget, junior high, high school, college, drafted, pros. That's it.
Right.
Right, because there's no minor leagues in football.
There's no club teams like
that, right? Yeah, I mean, you had some Pop Warner teams, but
and it's funny you say that, because in Canada it's the exact opposite.
Right.
There's very few high schools that have a rink, and if they do, it's only because it's usually a private school where you have private coaches, and there's none. It's all club team in Canada. All.
Wow. Now we're at a point now where we have the United States Hockey League.
Yeah.
Right. And these guys, like, I'll give you an example. Colton St. Clair, right, from the Muskegon Lumberjacks. Dedicated coach to Muskegon Lumberjacks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Teaching system. Teaching life skills.
Right.
Teaching these guys how to be hockey players.
Mm-hmm.
Not just teaching them on the ice, but off the ice.
Right.
Right. So now you got coaches now that are getting paid. That's their job.
Yeah.
They don't have a full-time job selling insurance.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Their full-time job is to coach you.
Yeah.
Right. And the facilities that they have.
Right.
And where they get to play. And
in Canada, they do have that too. All the universities have a hockey team, and there's coaches that get paid, but they don't get paid like U.S. coaches get paid, and they don't have the facilities that U.S. hockey players have. They have it's like there's good facilities. The one thing they do have though in Canada is every year that you play in their major junior league, like the highest level before you can go to pro.
WHL, OHL.
Yeah, WHL, OHL. Every year that you play, you get a free year of university. So that's good.
Really?
Yeah. Every year that you play in junior, you get a free year of university. So if you play Canada, 4 years,
you have to go to a university in Canada.
In Canada, yes.
Absolutely. Okay.
You would have to go to, yes, of course.
So they're not going to pay for you to come to Ohio State.
No.
Okay, all right.
You have to go to a Canadian university.
Oh, absolutely. Come on.
But you do get a free year of university for every year you play in.
All right.
In
all right.
So,
wow.
Anyways, we've been going. This is like, we could talk all day. We always could talk all day. We could talk about everything. We could go on to everything. We could sit here probably for 3 hours. I know.
Before we go, I want to just mention this just real quick. Super congratulations to the United States
yes,
women's hockey team.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that much.
No.
We talked about it a little bit. We said they were way better than Canada, but yeah.
But congratulations to them for winning their gold. Their goaltender was absolutely
insane.
The longest shutout streak in Olympic history.
Crazy. Yeah.
Right? Okay, now, all right.
Crazy good, man.
Props. Good. Congratulations to all the teams that were able to put a medal around your neck.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I get it. The silver medal is the loser medal. I get it.
I mean, in the minds when you're competing, but I mean, afterwards, like, I think it was Jennifer Botterill. I think she had a silver once or something like that. And she said, yeah, when it first happens, like, you don't even care. But over time, you realize the importance of what you did, and you can look back at all the things like
and be proud.
And be proud that you did the best
right.
you could.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry we lost, but hey.
Yeah.
We still got to walk with the silver. So all things considered, I'm okay with that. So I just wanted to say that.
No, I that's cool. Kudos to, like we were just saying, all of the communities and everything in the leagues and all of that put this whole thing together where you can have these teams go do what they do in the Olympics and all of that, and in their leagues and everything. And I want to say, finally, and this is something I brought up before, but before we'll have to get going after this. I've mentioned before, I'm from Canada. I lived there 50 years. I've now living in Indiana in the United States for a little over a year. I love both. I love both of these countries. Now, would I say that I have more roots in Canada, so there's a lot more emotion to do with that. But if you take that away, if you just look at it from a person who is looking at two different countries, I love these countries. I love both of them. I love the United States and I love Canada. They're great countries. So,
and we're happy to have you, eh?
Yeah. If you can realize that these are two great countries. I hear a lot of bickering going on and a lot of mud throwing back and forth and stuff like that. Dude, they're different. There's advantages in both. But for the most part, the people are freaking awesome. I love the people here in Indiana in Fort Wayne. They're great people and all of that. But more than either one of those countries, I love hockey. And I want what's best for hockey. Honestly, I would give up. I love it more. And kudos to the United States for winning that gold, because that, I believe, is going to bring more fans to this great, in my opinion, best sport in the world. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't want to say that you should think that way, but in my opinion,
5.5 million viewers.
Yeah, more people to this great sport in the world. I hope there's more kids that have Jack Hughes's poster up on the wall with this United States flag and all of that stuff like that.
Busted up teeth.
Yes, busted up teeth and all that cool stuff, man. Because the more people there's 355 million people in the United States, from what I understand, and there's 40 million in Canada. I think we pretty much have saturated the fan base in Canada, but here in the United States, I want this to be up there with the top four sports, with basketball, baseball. We got a long way to go, and winning a gold will, like that, in that format and the way they did it and everything, and as much as people love their country here, and freaking good for you, you should love your country here because it's a great country. More people are going to watch this sport, and the more people that watch this sport, the better it is far as I'm concerned. It's a great sport, and I'm really happy that the United States won it. I would have been happy if Canada won it too, from an emotional standpoint.
Yeah.
But honestly, from a standpoint of what's better for the game, keep winning US, because I want this game to grow here. I want more people to watch this game and realize how great of a game it is. And that game you saw in the gold medal, guess what? That happens every night in the NHL. That is, and it's even actually maybe even more intense, because you have fighting, you have more physicality, you have there's so much drama involved in the sport. And when the playoffs come,
I was just going to say, that isn't even the best part. The best part is the second season.
I don't think there's any question that the NHL playoffs are the best playoffs of any sport out there. I'm comfortable in saying that they are the best playoffs of any.
We talked about this. We talked about this before, and we asked each other this question: would you much rather have a gold medal or the Stanley Cup?
You ask all the players out there, and I'm pretty sure they would give up their gold medal for a Stanley Cup. Pretty sure.
Because I'm with you. A gold medal is fine and great, but getting your name on the Stanley Cup, that's forever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not saying that an Olympic gold medal isn't forever. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I just find that it's much harder to win a Stanley Cup. So it's much more of an honor to have your name on the Stanley Cup than it is for anything in sport.
I mean, winning the Stanley Cup takes years of building a team. It's not just put some players together and throw it out there for however many games. It takes years of building a team, growing together as a team, everything. It is.
I agree. All day long.
And it culminates into one of the greatest competitions you will ever see.
It does.
So if you watch that gold medal and you thought, maybe I'll check out hockey, check it out, man, because it is an amazing sport. All right. That's my full 42, everybody. That's all I have to give. But all 42 I give to you every time we're here. This has been Puck in Deep, where we get in deep about NHL, Olympics, everything. If you are a hockey geek like me and like to look at every nook and cranny of what's going on with hockey, with trades or who's going to win or all of that kind of stuff like that.
Or you write notes about each show that you do.
Check me out. Check me out on the Ice Guys. I'll be on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. The first game back, I'll be on. I'm on Monday and Wednesdays, but check them out every night, every day. Even if you're not a betting person, you're going to get this deep NHL hockey talk all the time. It's awesome. Also, get over to Perlo's NHL POW, because I have a special offer going on if you become a community member on my Twitter, which is highlighted on the top. It's coming up right now. I'm going to be throwing it up there maybe even tonight. And it's going to be huge for you if you become a community member. And it's only going to be for a limited time. So when I take it down, Ron, tell them everything that's going on with your great channel there at RNJ Sports.
Yeah, man. We got Puck in Deep, right? We got that beautiful thing going on. We just put a show out today called The Huddle, Black and Gold podcast, where we talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers, where Gage Ryan and myself host a show there. We did that. That went out today. Go check that out. Hop on over to the YouTube channel, R&J Media Sports. Hop on over there, get signed up, get subscribed. That way you get notification for all the stuff we're doing. Prospect Watch. I got some stuff lined up here, man. I got some interviews I'm working on and getting lined up here, so be looking for some stuff coming out here real soon. And now that the NHL is going to be back into full swing here starting on Wednesday, I'll be looking for the Hockey Writers Inc. to be coming back here with me and Russ Cohen, so be looking forward to that as well too. So you can follow me on X at RNJ_media, man. Thank you very much, Perlo.
All right, we're out. Thanks for coming in, everybody that came in. Lots of love to you. Till next time on Puck in Deep.